that would be the second time that I've started stream and there's no background music. Whoops. Anywho, more Steins Gate Zero time. Let's go. Maho and I stayed at Ferris's house for several days after that. Yeah, after what happened with they got raided by motherfucking phone, dude. I swear, you will pay for the sins you've wrought, phone. Anyways, yesterday, yeah, they got raided by Moeka's group, the Rounders, and some Russian soldiers. Then they went over to Ferris's house. I can't watch cause spoilers, but wanted to pop in and say hi. Hey! Oh, you're Sinister. Hi, it's good to see you. And no problem, no problem. Well, I want you to stay as spoiler-free as possible, so you can enjoy your own playthrough as much as possible. So no problem. Thank you for stopping by, though. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you. I hope your day's good. Maho and I stayed at Ferris's house for several... Oh, I should probably give you a shout-out before I go on. Sinister... Fairy. Yeah, go follow her. Very, very lovely person. And she's playing through Steins Gate. And it's her first blind playthrough, so please go follow her. She's also doing a bunch of other playthroughs at the same time, I believe, so... Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Go drop her a follow, show her lots of love. My day's great, also, oh, thank you. Hope your day's going well, too. It's going good, it's going good. We watched the Nintendo Direct earlier, and now we're doing Steins Gate Zero right now. But, Nintendo Direct was kind of crazy. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Showed a lot more stuff than I thought it was going to with the new Super Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. We got Detective Pikachu, and that was hype. I didn't see it, but I saw a Peach game. Yeah, they didn't say much about the Peach game. They just said, yeah, we're making a Peach game. Be on the lookout for it. And that's literally all they said. But yeah, they announced a new Mario game, they announced Detective Pikachu, and the Super Mario RPG remake, which I am very excited for, because I never got the chance to play the original, so it looks like it'll be promising. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. I saw the RPG one too, it looks cute, it really does. I just appreciate the new Mario game, because we're getting Elephant Mario, which I didn't know I needed. Also, just a little bit where it's like, the flower's like, oh look, a Goomba, he looks so serene, Elephant Mario just kicks it into the sunlight, and he just goes, well then. Alright, we're just kicking Goombas now, okay. Something about that sent me. Oh my god. This flower actually just went well then. Actual best Mario dialogue I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god. Are you planning on streaming today, Sinister? Or are you taking a break today? Yeah, I usually stream later though. Oh, gotcha. Hey, that means I might get the chance to raid you if you're streaming by the time I end. We'll do another raid. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, well, that's so sweet. I wanted to raid you, but alas, you went live. I usually stream at about like 7 p.m. Eastern. So I think if you stream later than that, I'm probably gonna 9 times out of 10 be streaming before you. But it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Schedules and all that nonsense. But yeah, one day. But I am gonna go ahead and start reading. So if you want to avoid spoilers, now would be the time Oh no, you didn't distract. I'm glad to talk to you. I didn't want to spoil you. Have a good one. Have a good one. Good to see you. Alright. Maho and I stayed at Ferris's house for several days after that. Now that Carice's computer was destroyed, the odds that anyone would come after us had gone way down. But there was still a chance. Just to be extra careful, I stayed away from the lab.
Maho, Rintaro.
Dr. Leskinen looked a little thinner since the last time I'd seen him. Bro has not been eaten.
Maho mo, 大変だったね。
Dr. Leskinen held Maho tightly in his huge arms. I know. The difference in size between them was so great that Maho looked like some kind of stuffed animal. Dr. Leskinen and Maho were leaving the country in the afternoon on a weekday, so I was the only one who could see them off. Since I'd been with Maho the whole time, instead of only seeing them off, I'd actually just brought her here there. Oh my god, I can't read. Since I'd been with Maho the whole time, instead of only seeing them off, I'd actually just brought her there. Maho, after all, was the kind of person who was incapable of getting to an airport on her own. I was amazed she'd survived this long, given her lack of basic skill. Well, damn, bro. Okabe really woke up and said, I want all the problems. I want peace never. We'd held the Maho's goodbye party last night at Ferris's house. Ferris was there, so were... Oh my god. Ferris was there, and so were Mayuri and Daru, and the others from the Christmas party. All were sad to see her go.
Rintaro. マホと一緒にいてくれてありがとう。本当に世話になったね。いえ。それで、うちの研究室にはいつ頃来られるのかな？
He wasn't kidding about that, huh?
勉強して少しでも早く行けるように頑張ります。その時は俺から連絡しても。
もちろんいつでも待っているからね。
He smiled as he took my hand and shook it. I was really glad to hear it. After meeting Amadeus, my desire to go to Victor Crondria had only increased.
岡部さん、お礼を言わせて。いろいろとありがとう。あなたがいなかったら、私は今頃命はなかったかもしれないわ。
I'm just curious to see where this route's going, honestly. Because the hard drive and the laptop have been destroyed. But, obviously, nothing's changed because Russia already has the means to eventually unlock time travel in this timeline. So I wonder what this is leading down. That's the question.
大げさだな。
いいえ、本心よ。本当に感謝している。私もあなたのことを待っているから。頑張って。
あ、君も研究を頑張ってくれ。
それでレインタロウ、事前に連絡しておいた通り、アメテウスのアクセス権は今日ここで解除させてもらうことになるんだ。いいね。
はい。
Evidently, they couldn't leave me with access to Amadeus after they left the country. I was only supposed to test her during their stay here anyway.
クリスに最後に挨拶するかい？
そうですね。あ、 じゃあ一言だけいいですか？
もちろん。
I tapped the icon for Amadeus.
何？私にもお別れの挨拶してくれるの？
Of course you do, come on. Kurisu was expressionless for some... she looks rather mad to me. I don't know if I'd say expressionless.
まあな。必要なかったか？
Ruben, my man! Hello. You are back. I think. I mean, back for today. I mean, this is your first time showing up today. I think. I don't know. But hey, Ruben.
私なんかよりも先に真帆先輩には挨拶したんでしょうね。ちゃんとしたわよ。
Maho interjected before I could speak.
それならいいけど。
Oh, Ruben, I don't know if you're into that kind of thing, but have you seen the Nintendo Direct earlier today? I said that because I left unannounced yesterday. Oh, you did you? Didn't you? Well, you were probably busy, so it's not like a huge deal. As long as you're okay, that's all that matters. As long as you didn't get shot or something, then. And no, I did not. Okay, good. Oh, you mean you didn't see the Nintendo Direct? Okay. Man, I lose things of the... I lose track of the things I say, man. But yeah, we watched the Nintendo Direct earlier this morning. Not my thing, really. No problem. Yeah, they just announced some Mario stuff and Detective Pikachu. All the good Nintendo stuff. Kurisu was inside my screen. Was it a good thing that I'd spoken to her like this? Or a bad thing? In the end, I knew I needed to forget about Kurisu Makise, but I couldn't. I couldn't escape from this curse.
アクセス権がなくなったらもう会えなくなるな。
まあ、私の話し相手になってくれたことには多少は感謝してる。
No. Tsundere Kurisu, even in AI. Curse? Oh, Yashiro's curse. Sorry, wrong game. Nah. You're right though. You're right. Oh, man. I asked in the Discord, but I don't know if you saw it. I was like, would you guys be interested in seeing me actually play that Steins Gate Darling's Embrace on stream? Cause I considered it. I've considered it. I might. If you guys actually want to see it, we'll play Darling's Embrace on stream. Hell yeah, nice. Aruka, hey, how are you? Good to see you. The roots are based, very nice.
レスキネン教授の研究室に来る可能性はあるんでしょ？一応再会する時まであんたのことは覚えておいてあげる。
Oh, you're good? Good to hear, good to hear. Glad to see ya. Especially the Kurisu and Mayuri one. Listen, as long as the Kurisu route is god tier, then it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
ツンデレだな。
We've only just now got the tip for Tsundere? Just in case there is that one person in the audience who doesn't know what a tsundere is, we'll go over it. Tsundere, a character who is sunsun, prickly and cold in public, but who becomes dere, warm and loving in private. Also, the personality type itself. However, in recent years, the definition has become somewhat vague. Actually true. I probably will join most of your streams at this point. Oh, well, as long as you're enjoying yourself, I really appreciate it. That's actually rather flattering. Thank you so much.
ツンデレ？何それ？知らない言葉を使わないで。
No, don't you even try to hide that. I know you know what a tsundere is.
顔が赤いぞ。
この子、照れてるわね。
Regarding the Kurisu route, oh, it's God tier, alright. Oh, man. Nice.
クリスはシャイだね。
Did you see the Nintendo Direct earlier, Aruka? Or are you not into Nintendo games?
もう教授まで。
元気でというのはちょっと違うな。君は別に病気にはならないわけだし。あまりヒヤジョーさんのことをからかうなよ。
You're gonna have fun with that root mochi? It's too godly for mortal eyes. Oh my god. If there's like a diabetes inducing sweetness with that root, then I'll love it. And anything that involves Kurisu, it will. It will. It will.
はいはい。言われなくても分かってるわよ。
それならいいんだ。
あんたがいつかそんな風に寂しそうに笑うんじゃなくて。
Oh, God. Us too, Amadeus. Us too. We just want the old Kyoma back. We got him in PR route, but now he's back to sad Taro. We're all gonna be diagnosed diabetes after you stream it. On God.
心の底から笑える日が来るといいわね。
Sad scientist. Yeah. I guess even an AI could see right through me. Kurisu Makise really was one hell of a woman. Where's Mad Scientist? I know. We need him. We need Riz Taro back.
それじゃ。
あ、
Riz Taro. You know it, Ruben. You know it. Kurisu disappeared from my screen. I turned to Dr. Leskinen and nodded, deleting the Amadeus icon from my screen.
アクセス権の解除は後でこちらで手続きしておくよ。テスターとして協力してくれてありがとう。貴重なデータが取れた。
I just realized, was Amadeus like a public app that you could install on your phone? Bro, can I get Amadeus on iOS? Wait, no. Imagine. No, I'm gonna go to my app store and see if there's Amadeus. Amadeus. Can I get it? Ah, no. No Amadeus. They must have removed it. They knew. They knew. Amadeus needs to exist for us. True. I mean, we're very close to getting a Amadeus.
こちらこそありがとうございました。
I bowed deeply to both Maho and Dr. Leskinen. As I watched their plane take off into the distance, I noticed that it felt like there was a hole in my heart. Wait, Amadeus is gone? This truly isn't the Steins Gate World line. Well, there's no Amadeus on our app store. on our filthy, fleshy app store. It's D-Mill time! Let's go. I noticed that it felt like there was a hole in my heart. I clutched my phone tightly. Its connection to Amadeus was gone. Oh. Presage or recognize? Huh?
係ちゃん、今日から私とあなたは正式な親子になるのよ。
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of confused. I thought the root was supposed to be named VA or something. I guess that the fool is me then. This was when Kagari was 6. She'd been living in a facility for war orphans and getting treatment at a dedicated clinic next door. It was a completely different place with the casual... I can't read. It was a completely different place than the normal hospitals, which were overflowing with casualties from the war. It was an idyllic garden, shut off from the despair of the outside world so that children could live in peace. Well, that's good. That was where she'd met her mom. Mom, Mayuri Shina, was a Class 2 caregiver at the facility who was always very nice to her. Oh, okay, so this is probably where she adopted her. We were meant to deceive the world. Turns out the world deceived us. It truly did. I'm on my hands and knees, bro. I can't do this. My hands and knees.
本当？ママが係の本当のママになるの？
Oh.
ええ、そうよ。
That's so wholesome. It was impossible to express with words how happy Kagari had felt. Being Mom's real daughter meant that Kagari had become her real name. Kagari became Kagari Shina.
ほら、くっつかないの。係ちゃんは甘えん坊さんね。
Wholesome Mochi, how wrong? Oh no. He's Surely nothing terrible would happen at this moment.
じゃあ、ここから出られるんだよね。ママと一緒に暮らせるんだよね。
Oh my...
ごめんね。係ちゃんにはもう少し治療が必要みたいなの。
Aruka's discovered the vine boom. It's over. It's over. It's over.
そういうことなんだ。
あ、先生。
Kagari didn't know the doctor's name, but he was a nice old man who was always kind to her. I discovered the vine boom.
あと半年もすれば終わるからね。それまで我慢するんだよ。
Fun fact, that used to only be 5 points. And then somebody spammed it so much that I had to bump it back up to 200. Oh. Hey, Darian Allen. Toot-a-doo to you too. Hope you've been well, and thank you for summoning Best Girl.
Ano, 半年もですか？この前のお話ではあと2週間ぐらいで大丈夫だと。
Not a good day, really? No, I'm sorry to hear. Hopefully we can make your day not worse. Hopefully even better. But I hope the day gets better for you, buddy. Hey, Turnus. Who's Best Girl? Best Girl in Steins Gate is Kurisu, but Best Girl in general is Miss Heed. Miss Heed is the best girl.
それは身体的な傷の話なんだ。東京大空襲で子供が受けた心的外傷後ストレスは大人の比ではないからね。
Ooh.
それに昨日の診断で分かったことなんだが、かがりちゃんはまだ怖い夢を見るらしい。
I went into the bathroom at McDonald's and set my phone down somewhere unstable, and it fell. My screen kind of shattered. I mean, it's still usable, but ugh, I'm having budget problems. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear. That is rough. On the bright side, at least it didn't fall into a toilet. Considering you're at a McDonald's bathroom, then that truly would have been the worst ending. That sucks, but at least it didn't fall into a toilet. That is a good. That's a good side to it. Because if it fell into a McDonald's toilet, then it'd be completely unusable. But hopefully you're able to get that fixed fairly cheaply. Kind of hard for it to do that when you're sitting there. True, but still, true. Sorry the screen broke though. That really sucks. Hopefully you're able to get it replaced for fairly cheap.
そうなの？かがりちゃん。そんなことないもん。もう怖い夢なんて見ないよ。楽しい夢ばっかりだよ。楽しい。
It's not good to like, Gory. 10 more months, not getting a new one? Nice. Sucks you have to wait 10 months, but at least you'll be able to get a new one. But yeah, 10 months is quite the wait.
かがりちゃん、嘘は良くないよ。それでは治療はもっと長引いてしまう。
They want $165 for a new screen? What the hell? What the fuck? 165? Good lord. Yeah, I don't blame you for not having that kind of money. That's ridiculous. Hopefully you're able to find a good job that pays really good, though. Watch out for snakes. Could do it myself for $100, but no, I can't even imagine taking the thing. Yeah, plus there's always a chance of you, like, doing something that could irreparably break it. Which would not be good. Sorry to hear that, though. That really sucks. Oh my god. 160. That is ridiculous.
夜中に怖い夢にうなされて起きることが未だによくあるのだと昨日話してくれたよね。
まあ、そうなの。
この子の脳内に空爆の記憶が恐怖として残っている証拠だろうね。きちんと治療しておかなければ後で取り返しがつかなくなる。
At work in the rain? Oh god. Make sure you're covered up, or like under a ceiling or something. Jeez. I don't get screen protectors because unless someone at a phone store does it for me, I'm not putting one of those things on. Always have fingerprints underneath or dirt bubbles. But last time I had someone at a store do it, it was flawless. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I just have a screen protector just in case. I'm under shelter, yeah, but still sucks. Yeah, rain is not good. Rain is never a fantastic thing. We need it, but I don't know. Whenever I see rain, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I like my mood kind of just drops. I don't know what it is, but if I just like see rain outside my window, my mood just kind of drops.
そうですね。
I like the rain. It can be. Sometimes it can be interesting to watch. To just like watch all the little droplets like fall and hit the ground. Like it can be cool to watch. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing.
というわけで治療を続けてもよろしいかね、お母さん。
あ、はい。
I used to like going on my parents' porch and sit there when it rains. I don't have a porch though. Ah, understandable. Yeah, I guess it just does kind of depend on the situation or the mood.
かがりちゃん、頑張って悪い病気をやっつけようね。
Mom rubbed her head. Kagari felt so at peace that she could cry.
わかった。
いい子だ。
じゃあまた後でね、かがりちゃん。ママ。
Oh. Mom took her hand away, and instead the doctor took Kagari's hand. She was taken to the usual room. There was a white reclining chair, and next to it, some kind of mechanical system connected to a headset.
聞こえる、いつもの声。
君はママを守るんだ。この世界を守るんだ。そのために君は生まれてきたんだよ。
That's why she's having those freaking episodes! Also, God's voice, Jesus Christ, we know that's Dr. Leskinen because I could hear Leskinen in there. Jesus, dude, Leskinen really is just the main antagonist of this whole game, isn't he? Good lord, he's behind everything. Jesus, even in the future. She couldn't remember when she started hearing the voice. But by the time she was 6, whenever she was worried, uncertain, or in trouble, she could hear it. It was always kind and strong, and it always cheered her up. In Kagari's childish mind, she'd started to think it might be the voice of God. You could say Leskinen is a mad scientist. That's what makes him a perfect foil to Okabe, isn't it? Because while Okabe is basically a good guy, Leskinen's a true mad scientist. Oh my lord. Since only she could hear it, everyone else said it was just an illness, but Mom was the one person who believed her.
ママを守るんだ。だから治療を頑張るんだ。
He's definitely a cooler villain than Dr. Reyes was. Kagari's young heart was filled with the hope that she could someday live with Mom. Oh. Ugh. Somebody ain't cleaned up in years. As soon as she opened the door, Kagari Shino was struck by an unpleasant wave of heat. It was early June, and this was the first day to hit summer temperatures. It was hot enough that just walking outside could cause you to sweat. But the small Japanese... Wow, Mochi. I know you couldn't read, but you've hit a new low. Japanese-style room had thick curtains and the windows were closed. Bro, Japanese, wow. Okabe used the mad scientist persona for himself and his friends. Leskinen is a mad scientist with no care for anyone except science. Yep. The room was dark and cramped, and there were so many clothes on the floor, there was no place to stand. It wasn't just clothes. There were all kinds of filthy things. Bags with half-eaten snack breads still in them, half-rotted food packs, plastic convenience store bags overflowing with trash, all scattered around the floor. Bro, this is just a 4chaners room. This isn't scary. It's just a 4chaners room. We all have our moments. True. Of course, it's Moik. Moika, the true 4chaner. I wish Leskinen was the only antagonist so we could focus on him and his motivations. Moika! True. I don't know. It would have been cool to like have him as the only antagonist to focus on him, but it does make it feel like there's more to worry about with other antagonists like Dr. Reyes and other factions. It makes things a little more interesting as well with that. And the area around the half-naked girl sitting against the wall was covered in bandages and gauze soaked with blood and pus. There were bandages tied around her exposed stomach, chest, and limbs, but these too were soaked with blood. Also, they really made a whole sprite for that. Wow. I mean, I understand Reyes' role, considering this is World War III with conflicting factions. The room was filled with a sickeningly sweet stench, though there was no way to know if it was coming from the garbage or coming from her. The owner of the room, Moeka Kiryu, raised her head and looked at her, eyes filled with hope.
M4 まだ生きてたか
That doesn't sound like Kagari. That sounds like Suzuha. Am I crazy? Like, that sounds like Suzuha. But they could have done better with Reyes. They really could have done better with Reyes. I agree there. When she saw Kagari, who was still wearing her shoes as she came into the room, her shoulders slumped.
FB じゃない
Oof.
誰命の恩人に向かってひどい言い草ね
I swear that sounds like Suzuha. Moeka gave a painful cough and spit up some stomach fluid mixed with blood. Ugh, ugh. It stained her thighs and the floor. It is Suzuha's VA. Suzuha's VA doesn't voice, like, adult Kagari normally, does she? I don't think she does, at least. Her wounds must have opened again because the bandages around her stomach began to turn red. She'd spent 5 months like this, with no treatment with... How is she alive? If she's spent 5 months in that state, how is she even alive? With no treatment from a doctor? Brother, you'd be dead. There's no way. What? 5 months? We could definitely should have been dead. There's just no way, man. Like, what? You'd die by infection eventually. Like, yeah, infections and stuff. Moeka had gotten into a gunfight with the Russian army and failed her mission as a rounder. Oh. Is this the aftermath of what just happened? And the... Huh. As much as I don't like her, I wouldn't even allow her to not get treatment. Yeah, like, you gotta take her to a hospital or something. Because that's just a miserable way to go out. Like, dying by slowly bleeding out and getting infection, like, that's just miserable. She'd lost 2 of her companions, and her target, Kurisumaki-sei's laptop, was also destroyed. They pinned the blame on her. She was wounded and almost killed. I just don't like to see people suffer, no matter how I feel about it. Yeah, I mean, it's just cruel. It was Kagari who saved her and brought her to this room. 5 months, though. Jesus Christ. Also, Kagari saved her? But if someone with a gunshot wound went to the hospital, the police would be notified. And for that reason, she'd never gotten any real treatment. Good lord. Her wounds had become infected, and even 5 months later, they still brought her incredible pain. Moeka must be incredibly strong to just stave off infection for 5 months. God. Has she been, like, eating? Has people brought her food? Like, water? Jesus. Her terrible fever hadn't let up at all, and it wasn't rare for it to go from 39 degrees to over 40. Moeka is the Terminator confirmed. Oh, man. But Moeka didn't seem very interested in her wounds. She really should be, honestly. Also, that's interesting that she actually got majorly damaged. When I was seeing that gunfight, I had just assumed that she made it out fine. She's not human, but a machine. She was more interested in sending messages with the phone in her hands. She must have been sending more messages to her beloved boss in the past... Beloved boss, sorry. In the past 5 months, she'd sent almost 1,000.
どうして FB どうして返事をくれないの
FB was Moeka's boss in the Rounders. A woman who always gave orders to Moeka via text message. Moeka worshipped her to a great degree that far exceeded what could occur within a normal employee relationship. The shock of being abandoned by FB had hurt her many times more than her actual wounds. Kagari tossed the bag she'd slung over her shoulder at Moeka's feet, along with 2 plastic bags. The backpack was filled with medicine that wasn't available without a doctor's prescription. Along with it was a whole box of illegal drugs used only for the treatment of severe pain. Normally, these be kept under strict control at a hospital, where no normal person could get them. Well, I guess that explains how she's been surviving. Very barely, but surviving. Both of the plastic bags were filled with canned goods and other things Kagari had chosen, because they had the lowest probability of spoiling. You'd think she'd die of, bleeding out as well, though, you know?
生きる気がなくなったら言うといいわ。代わりに毒でも持ってきてあげるから。
Okay, that's just cruel. That's just cruel. Come on. But Moeka didn't seem to notice Kagari at all anymore. She was completely unresponsive. Kagari had gotten used to her attitude over the last 5 months. But she wasn't just going to go home today. She wordlessly reached for Moeka's cell phone. Moeka tried to resist, but evidently she had no strength left. Kagari was easily able to grab the phone. It was covered in blood and pus, but Kagari forced it into her pocket without hesitation. Moeka started crawling towards her. It was like something out of a zombie movie.
勘違いしないで。FB から新しい命令よ。
Moeka froze.
FB の命令。
そう、受け取りなさい。
Kagari took another cell phone out of her pocket. It was the same Japanese cell phone that Moeka had been using, minus the dirt and bloodstains.
今までの回線はロシアやアメリカの諜報部に傍受されていて使えないわ。だから今後はこっちを使って指令が来る。
Moeka had reached a trembling hand out toward the phone. And in an instant, she snatched it away and clutched it to her chest like it was her own child.
FB はこの携帯ならメールを くれるの？
Jesus.
多分もう来てるはずよ。
Moika quickly opened the screen on her phone. When she saw the words on the screen, tears started to flow down her face.
M4 私の可愛い娘
We'll read this just in case she doesn't. M4, my beloved daughter, it must have been so hard for you. I know it was hard for me. Your failure was unfortunate, but I'm very glad you're alive. Get better and wait for my next message, okay? This time, complete your mission successfully and regain my trust. I believe in you from the bottom of my heart. To my beloved daughter, from FB. We know that's... And we know who FB is. We know it's Mr. Brown.
大変だったわね
Okay, well...
私もとても心を痛めています
It looks like she's just gonna read the whole thing anyways. Alright, nice.
失敗したことは残念だったけれどあなたが生きていてくれて本当によかった早く傷を治して私からの次のメールを待っていてね今度こそ任務を完全に遂行し私の信頼を取り戻してあなたのことを心から信じていますからね私の大切な大切な娘 FB より
Jesus. It's hard to listen to, man.
わざわざ読み上げなくてもいいのに。
Of course, this message wasn't from FB. Kagari had written it herself. Oh, okay. Alright. Keep someone at the brink of death for 5 months, then give them exactly what they want as bait, and you can easily put anyone under your control. Kagari knew this well. The life suddenly returned to Moika's face. She spilled out the contents of Kagari's backpack like a woman possessed.
傷を治したいの FB の信頼答えなくちゃ
それでいい M4。
Kagari smiled, satisfied, and knelt down in front of her.
私が治療してあげるわ。包帯を全部取りなさい。
When Kagari left the apartment, the sun had set. She spent several hours treating Moika's wounds. Her hands still smelled of medicine. It wouldn't go away for days, possibly. She sighed and put on her full-face motorcycle helmet, then went to the parking lot and got on her bike. Dude, there's so many characters that have that exact same suit with that exact same motor helmet. How popular is that among these secret groups? Is that full suit with the motorcycle helmet? So many of these characters use that to hide themselves. There's Moika, there's Kagari, there's Dr. Reyes, like...
そろそろ聞こえるかな。
Okay, so it is actually... Why does she sound like Suzuha, though? Like, she's never, like, sounded almost exactly like Suzuha. She whispered. took off on her motorcycle. Rintaro time. It was almost July. The rainy season hadn't been that bad this year, and what little remained of it had already disappeared. Temperature-wise, summer had come a long time ago.
夏か。
In other words, it had almost been a year since it happened. And then one Saturday afternoon, if I stayed home, not only would it be hot, but Dad would But Dad would be on my case about helping with the family business. To get away, I had to come to the area around Ikebukuro Station. I've not seen this, have I? But why does that sound so familiar? Okay, I've not seen this. I don't know why, but I like, the setting and the text, like, jogged my memory. Like, I feel like I've seen this. A year ago, I could have gone to the lab, but with Suzuha living there now, I'd mostly stopped going. But that meant it was hard to find a place to study on my days off. It was too much trouble to go to the university. And the classrooms probably wouldn't open on weekends anyway. After a lot of research, I'd settled on spending my free days visiting this cafe near my parents' home, and spending a few hours there. In fact, a lot of the other patrons did the same thing I did, buying a single cup of coffee and sitting there for hours on end. Some brought books, some brought computers. I chuckled to myself as I realized that I'd joined the ranks of the other normies. Oh man. He's becoming filthy normal. Doo-doo-doo, where are you now? Oh, the usual cafe, right? I just went to your place and you weren't home. You did? Did my dad make a nuisance of himself again? It's okay. He gave me some barley tea. I have to go shopping. Will you come with me? Okay. Thank you. Okay, I'll leave now. Wait for me. So she went to my house? My family's business was called Okabe Green Grocer. It was a beat-up old store located in a rundown shopping street. The place was almost 40 years old. I really wanted them to rebuild it. My mind had wandered. Mayuri was going to be here in less than 15 minutes, so maybe it was time to call it a day. I'd worked pretty hard during the morning, so it wasn't too bad. I gotta go. Need to retain my battery for my phone. Have a good evening and stream. No problem. Thank you for stopping by, though, Ruben. I hope the work day treats you well. But yeah, hope you have a good day too, my man. I'd worked I already read that. I was a little surprised at how hard I'd been working lately. I could feel how having a goal gave me energy. I needed to get to Victor Crondria University as soon as I could.
Victor Crondria 大学か。
Definitely. Y'all too. Take care. Yeah, take care, my man. I was still in contact with Maho via email and chat. She was evidently busy with her research, but she was always sleepy. I took up my phone. I find myself looking for a certain icon on the home screen. Amadeus. But of course, I deleted it myself 6 months ago. Amadeus. Was Kurisu doing well? Knowing her, she was probably... Shoot. Knowing her, she was probably coming up with some complicated theory or teasing Maho. It was also possible that she was visiting @channel and hiding it from Maho. That's right. Kurisu had internet access. So it makes sense if she accessed @channel. But given that...
アマデウスってネット掲示板に書き込んだりすることもできるんだろうか。
Probably, honestly. Kurisu had spent a lot of effort last summer trying to argue with John Titor on @channel. That happened in the Alpha World line, though. Still, it meant that she was okay with posting. So there was a chance that Kurisu was doing the same thing. If Amadeus had even temporary access to the internet, then just maybe. I opened the web browser on my smartphone, and without really expecting much, ran a search for a nickname I knew I'd never forget. Kurigohan and Kamehameha. Jesus Christ, man. It was the handle that Kurisu had once used. I spoke without thinking. I bowed my head a little towards the other customers, who were staring at me coldly, and looked back at my smartphone. Amazingly, the search turned up several hundred results. They were all comments on that channel. Of course. I took a look at the dates on the results page. The oldest dated back to 2008. Those must have been written by Kurisu when she was alive. I never expected to see traces of her here.
っていうか、投稿しすぎだろ。
I didn't realize she spent this much time on that channel. Her comments were spread out on a lot of different boards. Physics, mathematics, science, fiction, oh, and of course the occult boards. For example, in the science fiction threads, she'd had passionate discussions about time machines. But unlike in the Alpha World line, she never came out and denied the possibility of a time machine. Surprisingly, some of her comments seemed to be quite the opposite.
いや、意外でもなんでもないか。
After all, she'd gone through all the work required to write a paper on time machines. Compared to that, her comments on the occult boards were brutal. She would have absolutely crushed the arguments of anyone who dared to propose anything even the least bit unscientific. Supernatural phenomena like crop circles, poltergeist, and spontaneous human combustion. Out-of-place artifacts, the Mayan doomsday calendar, conspiracy theories about how human DNA have been brought from another planet. Jesus Christ. She broke them down and refuted them with a cold thoroughness that even drove away her own side. And if anybody dared challenge her, she'd leave them flat on the canvas. Jeez. It was just like Kurisu. Her comments offered so little room for discussion, it was aggravating to read them. Did she actually enjoy all this occult stuff? She put enough energy into this that I couldn't help but wonder.
いくらなんでも大人げなさすぎだろ。
The first time I met her at last year's ATF, I'd gone through the same experience. But after a certain point, the Kurigohan and Kamehameha comments suddenly stopped. The cutoff date was July 27th of last year, the day Kurisu died. Her last comment was a slightly too heated response to someone who was mocking Dr. Nakabachi's time machine press conference. My chest tightened with the sensations of nostalgia and sorrow. I decided to close the browser. But then I stopped as soon as I saw her next comment. I brought the phone closer to my face and stared at it again and again. The date of the comment was December 1st, 2010.
これってまさか。
Well, that would be Amadeus in that case. Kurisu died in July 2010. So this couldn't possibly be her. So who was it? Was it someone else who'd taken over the identity of Kurigohan and Kamehameha? I don't know about that. Or was it... Since there was no trip code, I couldn't tell for certain. The hell's a trip code, what? trip code, an encoded string of characters that appears next to a name on the @channel message board. By entering your name as name hashtag some word, you can cause some word to appear in an encrypted form. December 1st was just after Maho and Dr. Leskinen had come to Japan, and also about the time I'd encountered Kurisu. After that, Curry Gohan and Kamehameha commented at about a rate of once per week. I looked for the most recent comment.
って昨日の夜じゃないか。
It was a discussion about relativity theory. Oh. Okay, so they're replying to somebody, replying to 401. So you're one of those people who thinks that the Michelson Mitchell, I'm just gonna say Michelson Morley experiment led to the development of relativity theory? No wonder you weren't making any sense. Go back to grade school, full WW. No point in even talking to you, WW. She really did get that foul mouth when she went on that channel. But then I realized that she said the same thing to me face to face. If this wasn't some imposter, if this really was Kurisu, what a miraculous and yet stupid story. Did Maho and Dr. Leskinen know about this, I wonder? Probably not. Kurisu wasn't gonna tell them. I couldn't help but laugh. Should I try to make contact with her? I wanted to see if this Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha really was Kurisu. And then I came up with a good handle. Salieri's neighbor. Dude, I swear. Of course, this was a knockoff of Maho's ID. If Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha really was Kurisu, she'd have to notice it, right? Okay. I thought I smelled moron! It's true that the original purpose of that experiment was only to help prove the existence of Aether, but you can't deny that it helped Einstein. As a result, you can say that it formed the basis of his theories. Someone needs to go back to school and it ain't me. Oh my god! And there, it's posted. How about that? I wrote something deliberately provocative, and importantly, I'd mixed in some mistakes. Not to brag, but I thought I knew a lot more about Kurisu than Maho did.
あっさり釣られるはずだ。クリスならな。
Jesus. Playing her like a fiddle. Fishing, the act of catching fish, also refers to deliberately provoking someone on an anonymous internet message board, or typing in deliberately false information and enjoying the angry response. Oh, hello, Mayuri. At some point, Mayuri had walked up in front of me.
なんだもう来てたのか。
I've been so busy writing my comment that I hadn't noticed. I hurriedly put the phone away and stood up. Fishing, not to be confused with fishing. Hey Morse, good to see ya. Hope you're doing well today. Also, did you see the Nintendo Direct earlier?
じゃあ行くか。
Oh.
どうした？
Nope, haven't. Well, they announced some, a new Mario, 2D scroller with, Mario Bros. Wonder. Mario can now turn into Le Elefante. And they announced a new Super Mario RPG remake. I'm pretty excited about that. And Detective Pikachu, the Chad himself, is coming back. Don't really follow... I don't know why I said that so loud. Don't really follow Nintendo these days. I hear about this stuff from a friend usually. Ah, I see. Well, today I'm that friend, Morse. Today I'm that friend. Mayuri and I left the cafe. Mayuri and I met up and headed for the Tokyo Hands. When I stepped inside the air-conditioned store, I felt refreshed. If it was this hot in June, I shuddered to think what it was going to be like in July or August.
それで一体何を買うつもりなんだ？
商品宣伝用のポップを作るんだ。だからそれ用のカードとか蛍光ペンとか。
I swear this feels like a mirror of a scene that I've seen before. Like, a lot of this is so similar. I know it's different, but Huh.
今年はコミマで同人誌でも出す気か？
違うよ。岡部製菓店で使うんだよ。
は？なんだって？
My family business?
今日オカリンの家に行った時にね、おじさんとそんな話になって。
Oh, shoot.
じゃあマユシーが作りますって立候補したの。
おいおい。
My dad could be such a jerk.
お前がそんなことする必要ないんだぞ。
でもマユシーがやりたいからやっているのです。
本当にいいのか？
This scene is more or less the same as the one in Gehenna's Stigma, just without the @channel browsing. And the series of events is a bit different. Ah, I see.
オカリンやおじさんおばさんにはいつもお世話になってるから。
じゃあ代わりに今度何かプレゼントするよ。
I took a quick look around and saw that they were selling a lot of things you could use for advertising. I think, unless I'm getting the roots mixed up again. You're probably right. I just remember, like, seeing this exact scene somewhere else. Like, almost exact. I decided to mostly leave the purchasing decisions up to Mayuri, just to make sure it's not like... Okay. The dialogue is technically different. She spent quite a while deciding what to buy. But, well, maybe because of all the time she spent at May Queen Neon Squared, her taste ran in the direction of cute and anime.
野菜や果物を売るのにハート型なんてどう使うつもりだ？
例えばこんな風に書くのはどうかな。おっきな松茸くん、今夜のおかずに奥さんいかが？あとは甘くてとろりん、早く食べてね、熟れたメロンちゃん。
Oh. Ayo? Ayo?
お前まさか知らないうちにダルに洗脳されたわけじゃないよな。
Oh, man.
ああ、いや、なんでもない。
Mayuri looked confused. Confused and completely oblivious.
とにかくハート型のポップは不許可だ。うちが怪しい店に見えてしまう。
そうかな。可愛いと思うけどな。
可愛くなくていいんだって。
My original intention, not to interfere, had gone by the wayside.
そもそもこれ以上買っても絶対余るぞ。
My shopping cart was filled with cardstock of various colors and shape.
これだけあれば当分困らないだろ。
そうだね。じゃあここまでにしよう。
We went to the cash register to check out. But since it was a Saturday, the checkout area was overflowing with shopping carts. Since it was going to take a while, I sent Mayuri to browse the toy section on another floor. I knew that they'd have some stuff from one of her favorite shows, Rainet Kakaru. Mayuri looked apologetic, but did what I told her to. In the end, I waited a whole 15 minutes at the register. Jesus. As an apology, I decided to get the present I'd promised her. She seemed really happy as she stared at the keychain. It was Upa, the mascot character from the Rainet Kakaru series. And we know that that's, the Upa that was Kigari's Upa. I told her when she went over to the toy section, she could pick out anything she wanted. And this was what she chose.
ウーパならもう大量に持ってるのに、ずいぶん嬉しそうだな。しかもそれって普通の緑色のウーパだろ？レアなやつじゃないよな。レアなのは確かメタルウーパだっけか。
The most popular and rarest of the Upas was the shiny silver metal Upa. For example, whenever there was a lottery for rare Rainet Kakaru stuff, at the convenience stores, oh my god, I can't read. The top prize was always a metal Upa. Mayuri had told me once that they sold for tens of thousands of yen at auction. For some reason, Mayuri was wagging her finger at me.
違うんだな。これはね、緑のウーパさんだけど、普通のとは違うの。この前やってた映画に登場した緑の妖精さんウーパなんだよ。
Tiny nose. Mayuri is very tiny nose. But that's why she's so cute. Come to think of it, there had been a Rainet Kakaru movie out in spring. Had Mayuri sat in a theater full of little kids to watch it?
緑の妖精さん？
映画のネタバレしてもいいかな？
いいぞ、どうせ見ないし。
今回の映画はね、バーチャル世界で悪のスーパーハッカーさんたちとバトルをするんだ。
If it's Daru, then I agree he is evil.
そのバーチャル世界が妖精さんの住む森なのです。スーパーハッカーさんはすごく強くてね、かけるくんもウーパもピンチになっちゃうんだけど、もうダメだっていう時にね、妖精さんたちが助けに来てくれるの。実はその妖精さんたちはかけるくんがお世話をしてた学校の花壇のお花さんたちだったんだよ。いつも優しくしてくれるかけるくんを助けるためにね、バーチャル世界でピカピカーンって光ってウーパと合体するんだ。それがこの緑の妖精さんウーパー。すっごくかわいいし、すっごく強いんだよ。まゆし、感動したな。そういう話に弱いんだ。監督さん天才だよ。
なるほどな。
It was rare for Mayuri to get this excited about something. I took a closer look and saw that the design was a little different from the standard Upa. I didn't know a lot about Upas, so I couldn't say exactly what was different.
このキーホルダーね、結構あちこち探してたんだ。すっごく人気があってね、どこも売り切れだったんだよ。まさかハンズに残ってるなんて思わなかったな。
ラッキーだったな。
しかもこれが最後の1個だったんだよ。今日は来てよかった。オカリンとおじさんには感謝しなくちゃ。
Mayuri took the tag off the keychain and got her house key out of her bag and carefully attached it.
ねえオカリン、マユシーね、これずっと大
Oh.
切にするね。
Oh.
おお、そうしてくれ。くれぐれも買って5分でなくしたりしないようにな。
It happened before, after all. Like the metal Upa I'd won for her at the radio building. Mayuri had lost it no more than 5 minutes after I gave it to her. I'd wondered if she ever found it. I didn't really want to remember that time in my life, so my memory of what happened to the metal Upa was vague. Little did he know that metal Upa was so effing important.
もう絶対になくさないのです。
The two of us started to head back.
オカリンのお店のポップ張り切って作るね。
ああ、その作業があったな。
I've been thinking the job was done once we bought the materials. The real work actually began now.
俺も手伝おうか。
大丈夫。マユシーのセンスを信じてほしいな。
ハートマークのポップを買おうとしてた時点でセンスを疑うぞ。
大丈夫だよ。
まあ、ポップを作ってくれるだけでもありがたいから文句は言わないけどな。
お母さんにメールしなきゃ。晩ご飯までには帰りますって。
なんならうちで食べてってもいいぞ。どうせ親父やおふくろが引き止めるだろうし。
どうしようかな。オカリンは今日はこの後ずっと家にいるの？合コンとか行かない？
最近は全然行ってないよ。
Last fall, when I'd been trying to become a normal college kid, I'd forced myself to go to as many as possible. But lately, I'd been so busy with my studies that I hadn't had a chance.
そっか。じゃあごちそうになっていこうかな。
Mayuri took out her phone and started to type something when... Uh-oh. Her expression suddenly darkened. She stopped moving.
どうした？
ついさっきね、楓さんからメールが来てて気づかなかったよ。どうしよう、オカリン。
Mayuri seemed like she was on the verge of tears.
何かあったのか？
ねえオカリン、前に言ってたよね。 吹雪ちゃんは病気なんかじゃないって。
吹雪ちゃん？中瀬さんのことか？来島さんの方じゃなくて？
あれって本当に病気じゃないんだよね。
ああ、違うはずだ。
でも
Mayuri showed me her phone. Fubuki's back in the hospital. I'm on my way. Here's the location.
また入院しただって。
I couldn't believe what I was seeing on the screen. Fubuki was at a different location than before. This time it was the AH Tokyo General Hospital High-Tech Medical Center in Yoyogi. It was supposedly one of Japan's most advanced hospitals. According to what I read on the internet, patients with the new encephalitis that everyone was talking about were being gathered here for special treatment. But I'd also read lots of really bad urban legends about the place, and I was a bit worried about what kind of horror show I'd find there. Ah, this place! Again. Yeah, we're back here again, it seems. But of course, when we arrived, it was nothing like that. It was very clean and decorated like a luxury hotel.
まゆりちゃん、ホカリンさん、こっちです。
Kaede and Yuki waved to us as we entered the lobby. Yuki had gotten a message from Kaede as well, and had evidently come right over.
吹雪ちゃんは大丈夫だよ。
Yuki gave Mayuri a soft hug and a smile. Kaede bowed her head apologetically.
驚かせてごめんね。私も焦っちゃって。もっとちゃんと確認してからメールすればよかった。
というと、中瀬さんの容体は？
今病室で吹雪ちゃんのお母さんに会えたんですけど、例の病気が悪化したとかじゃないそうです。
じゃあまた検査入院とか？
はい、そう言ってました。だから全然心配ないって。なんだ。はあ、よかった。
I'm trying to see how this is different. Or like what's changed. The @channel browsing it was different, but still. Mayuri looked extremely relieved as Yuki continued to hug her. If I remembered right, the last time they examined her, they said it was possible that she had the disease. But as long as it didn't get worse, it wouldn't affect her daily life. They just told her to come back for regular checkups. The new encephalitis had arrived in Japan in over 6 months ago, but the number of patients was still increasing. Fortunately, there hadn't been a single casualty yet. Right. I was certain that what they were calling encephalitis was actually something similar to reading Steiner. One time when I went to visit Fubuki in the hospital, I had secretly investigated the other patients. I wasn't able to get any proof, but I found out most of the patients in the wing, and her wing had, to varying degrees, memories of the same world line.
に共感を覚えてしまうと、あたかも自分が見た夢のように錯覚してしまう。そういう可能性だってあるのです。
Across the lobby, I saw an old Japanese doctor in a white coat and a big man in a suit who was frantically trying to talk to him. I'd seen the man in the suit before. Actually, it was a man I knew well.
教授、レスキネン教授。
I hurried over.
レスキネン教授、俺です。岡部です。
He must have been wearing his translator because he was communicating with the old doctor in Japanese. Dr. Leskinen's face quickly broke into a smile when he saw me.
Oh, Rintaro!
His voice was so loud that everyone in the lobby, doctors, nurses, and staff, and even the patients turned to look at me. But Dr. Leskinen didn't seem to notice them as he ran over. He was like a giant American football player racing for a touchdown.
ちょっと待ってください、教授。ストップ、ストップ。
My cries went unheard as Leskinen tackled me and then pulled me up. Then he switched from football player to pro wrestler and he swung me up and down. I felt like I was a little child. There was nothing I could do to resist him as he flung me around. A moment later, he noticed the cold stares of the people around us and finally released me.
いやはや、すまない。あまりに驚いて、はしゃぎすぎてしまった。
Leskinen may be evil, but he's also hilarious. That's why he's such a good character. Because he could switch at the drop of a hat. I accidentally skipped that. Dr. Leskinen bowed to the people around him in apology.
レスキネン先生、この青年とはどういったお知り合いかな？
The doctor that Professor Leskinen had been talking to was staring at me suspiciously.
あ、その。
I wasn't sure exactly what to tell him, and it wasn't like he was really my professor.
見たところまだ学生のようだが、どこの大学かね？教授と同じ脳科学専攻だとすると。
いえ、俺は。
彼は9月からビクトゥ・コンドリア大学の学生ですよ。いずれ私の研究室に来てもらうつもりでいます。
え？
ほうほう、ビクトル・コンドリア大学かね。これは驚いた。
I looked over at Dr. Leskinen questioningly, but he just gave me a mischievous smile. This guy. He really was such a kid.
日本人であそこへ行ける学生なんてめったにいない。大したものだ。
どうも。
Oh my god. After the doctor left, I sighed loudly enough for Professor Leskinen to hear me.
今の人は？
この病院の院長だよ。
院長？そんな偉い人相手に堂々と嘘をついたんですか？
おや、私は嘘なんてついたかな？確かに9月から我が校の学生とは言ったが、何も今年の9月からとは言ってないよ。それとも何かい？君は結局我が校に来る自信がないのかな？だったら少し残念だが。
He really was like a little kid, completely shameless. But still, it was hard to hate him. Sentences that would age poorly. Number 7.
でも驚きました。まさか教授がまた日本に来ているなんて。
It had been 5 months since I'd seen him off at Narita. I looked around for Maho, but I didn't see her anywhere.
ウィンタールはどこか具合でも悪いのかい？治療でここに？
Oh, you know what? We didn't get the scene of Maho getting, like, effing kidnapped and brainwashed, so that's different. Because I think that, in the other, like, in Gehenna's Stigma, that was before this happened.
あ、いえ、違います。入院してる友人の見舞いで。
ああ、そうか。それはよか。いや、その友人にとっては良くないか。申し訳ない。
ああ、いえ。それで、教授こそ、日本の病院で何を？
Dr. Liskinen brought his face close to mine and whispered so that the people around us couldn't hear him.
君も知っているだろう。例の新型脳炎の件だよ。アメリカ政府の依頼で、精神生理学研究所が治療法を研究していたんだが、手詰まりらしくてね。私も調査に加わるよう大学から命じられたというわけさ。
そうなんですか。レスキネン教授が新型脳炎を。
Now there was a word I didn't expect to hear. I explained that my friend was here because they thought she might have the disease.
もしかしてその友人というのは中瀬克美？
ああ、クリスマスパーティーで会ってましたね。
うんうん。実は私が新型脳炎に興味を持ったのもあのパーティーがきっかけでね。君と克美が揃って倒れただろう？
He was right, actually. In my case, I'd been sent to that other world line.
克美には何日か前に再会したんだけどね。私にも何度か噛みついてきたよ。どうしてまた入院させられるんだ？私は元気なのにってね。
そうでしたか。
Oh, oh wow. I just noticed you used the emotes. Well, I sat there and I looked at that for like a good minute. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I assume you redeemed those with the channel points. That's a good one. I can't blame you. That's a good one.
もう少し協力的になってくれると嬉しいとリンタロウから
Yep.
伝えておいてくれないか。
That's a good one to use the points on.
ああ、
実際のところキャツミだけでなく全ての患者に申し訳ないという気持ちはあるんだ。我々も日本の医師団も研究を進めてはいるんだけどね。どうにも解せない検査結果ばかりで困り果てているのさ。
Dr. Leskinen's usually chipper expression darkened. The man was such a ball of vitality that I hadn't noticed until then, but when his smile disappeared, I could see the wrinkles that had been formed on his face from exhaustion. He must have been working hard, like he said.
正直、最初はどの医師もこれほど不可解な病気だとは思っていなかったらしいんだけどね。ん？どうしたんだ、リンタロウ？
あ、 あ、その、
何か気になることでも？
いえ、俺は医学生じゃないのでさっぱりです。
I was just about to tell him about my reading Steiner, but in the end I couldn't. If my uninformed opinion was wrong, it could cost the encephalitis. Oh my god, Lord help me. If my uninformed opinion was wrong, it could cost the encephalitis patients their lives. I couldn't just tell him when I didn't have any proof. And then his face drew close to mine again.
ところで、その克美がなかなか興味深いことを言っていたんだよ。自分たちは病気じゃない。別の世界の出来事を夢で見る能力があるだけだとかなんとか。
Well. Well. I told her not to say anything about it. Could she not help it? This was bad. They might start to doubt her sanity.
中瀬さんはそのとても想像力がたくましいというか SF とかアニメとか大好きですから、他の平行世界を感知できる力なんて多分趣味の影響で口にしただけじゃないかと思います。実は俺もそういうことを言っていた時期があるんですよ。
I tried my best to come up with excuses, but Dr. Leskinen still seemed concerned.
だけどね、私も治療プロジェクトに参加して驚いたんだが、確かにこの病の特徴として多くの患者が夢を共有する不可思議な現象が起こっているんだ。集団幻覚に近いのかとも思って今調べているんだけどね。でもなんだろう、こんなことは初めてでね。脳科学的には今のところ解が導けない。正直非科学的という言葉が一番しっくりくるくらいだよ。それこそ平行世界とか前世の記憶とかね。
そうですか。
君も克美からいろいろと話を聞いてくれると助かるよ。医者に言えないことでも友人になら話すだろうしね。
はい、一応心がけておきます。
さて、リンタロウ、それはそれとして確認だ。
Dr. Leskinen was looking over my shoulder.
クリスマスパーティーの時にも感じたんだけれど、君のガールフレンドたちはキュートなお嬢さんばかりだね。
Of course, Leskinen recognizes the power of Riz Taro. That's why Leskinen is such a good foil for Okabe, is because he recognizes his Riz power. I turned around and saw that Mayuri, Kaede, and Yuki had all stood up from the sofa and were looking at me. Riz Taro is so legendary, his legend has even spread to America. It's too strong. When they saw Dr. Leskinen was looking at them, they waved.
やはりあの中に恋人がいたりするのかい？ユキ、カエデ、 マユリルカそれともカツミがそうなのかな
His words were so surprising that I couldn't think of anything to say. Maho would often call this middle-aged man a mischievous boy, and that was exactly the look he had in his face. Also, purple chat! Purple chat! The chat will remain purple for the dawn of time.
いや、別に無理に聞かせてくれとは言わないよ。君のプライベートを詮索する気はないからね。
Purple.
ただ、まあ、可愛い教え子にちょっとした土産話をと思っただけさ。
Dr. Leskinen turned to walk away before I could figure out what he meant.
それじゃレンタロウ、私はもうちょっと院長と話をしないといけないから、これで。できればユキたちにも一人一人ハグしていきたいところだったが、次回にとっておこう。彼女たちによろしく。
はい。
Mayuri and the others came over to me as I watched him go.
今の人レスキネン先生ですよね。どこかで見たことあると思った。
アメリカに帰ったんじゃなかったでしたっけ？
おかり？
There was no way I could tell the girls what Dr. Leskinen and I were just talking about. After Fubuki's exam was over, we went to her room and listened to her complain, and then the visit was over. Just like Dr. Leskinen had said, she looked just fine. She told us she was ready to leave the hospital and jog all the way home. Mayuri and the others were relieved, but I felt worried. Did I need to talk to Dr. Leskinen about reading Steiner after all? No, don't. Don't. But how would I explain it? It might be a better idea to talk to Maho and have her explain it to him. I couldn't come to an answer right away. We said goodbye to Kaide and Yuki at one of the stations on the way back. Before we got to Ikebukuro, I remembered to take out my phone and open the web browser. I went to @channel, eager to see how she'd responded to the bait I'd spread this afternoon. Oh, man. What did she say? Hit us with it. I put my hand over my mouth to stifle the noise. I like how their mouths move, but everything else is still as stationary as rock. That's visual novels for you, Aruka. Heck, most of them don't even have moving mouths, believe it or not. They'll just have the sprite there make a different emotion for the rest of the dialogue. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that fish. Mayuri had been standing next to me, and she was leaning over my screen. Okay, I'm home. And I got to use Swahili for a second time at work. Last time... Well, fuck. Just scroll up. Last time I used it at work was in 2018. Very nice. I'm glad to have you, Golden. And Chad is no longer purple, but that's okay. That is, unless Golden changes his name to a purple name. I fished her up alright. Let's see. Actually, it was Fitzgerald and Lorentz who based their hypothesis off that experiment. Einstein himself said it had nothing to do with his theories. You don't even know that? How ignorant are you? I didn't think it would go this well. The timestamp was from just 30 minutes ago. I decided to respond immediately using the same name, Salieri's neighbor. You're the ignorant one. In a letter written before his death, Einstein said that he was aware of Michelson and Morley's experiment. I posted and then reloaded the thread. There was already a response from her. I know that. Duh. Duh. All he said was that he knew the new OF. All he said that he knew. Oh my god. All he said was that he knew of the experiment. Obviously, Einstein used the Fizeau experiment and stellar aberration to come up with the theory of relativity. The time lag between the posts was just 21 seconds. It was kind of irritating to have her come after me so hard. It was as if she was insulting me as a person. Well, I was the one who deliberately written in mistakes, so I should have expected it. You just can't let anyone else win, can you? I see you haven't changed a bit. Ooh, are you Mozart? The thread's other residents were probably confused. Everyone except for her. Let's see. Residents. Regular users of a service. Primarily refers to frequent commenters on anonymous internet message boards. Mayuri had been watching our exchange and looked at me confused.
知り合いなの？その栗ご飯とカメハメハさんって。
まあな。多分古くから付き合いのあるやつだと思う。
Now then, how would she reply to the nickname Salieri's neighbor and post I just wrote? I was curious, but there wasn't an immediate response like it before. The train reached Ikebukuro Station.
おかり、着いたよ。
The train slid into the station and stopped. I reloaded the thread one more time before the doors opened. And there was a very short response from Kurigohan and Kamehameha. Oh my god. I can't read that fast! Oh my god! I was trying to read the other messages. God dang it. God dang it, Steins. You know I can't read that fast. Yeah, I can't see it. There could be no doubt now. And, yep. Who are you? We got the Anon from the depths just saying Imakita Industries. This Kurigohan and Kamehameha was Kurisu. Yup. Oh, Suzuha time. Suzuha time, Suzuha time, Suzuha time. It was a very hot day in 1998 when Suzuha said goodbye to Kagari Shina. She'd gone to get food and water from a local store, and when she'd come back and open the hatch, Kagari was inside, screaming. She looked inside and saw that Kagari was slamming her tiny hands down on the control console.
お前、何をしてるんだ?
Kagari shrank back when she saw Suzuha.
違うの。これは、その。
答えろ。目を覚ましたら鈴葉お姉ちゃんがいなくて、真っ暗で明かりもつかないし、狭くて怖くて苦しくて。
Oh.
だからかがりドアを開けたくて、それであちこちいじってるうちにこんなことに。
Kagari started to cry.
ごめんなさい、鈴葉お姉ちゃん。
Do you guys have favorite foods? My default answer to that is usually spaghetti, but it really just depends on my mood. Like, I don't want spaghetti every day, you know what I mean? And really, but like, 9 times out of 10, spaghetti is usually my favorite. Mac and cheese is good too, though.
そうか。
What about you, Aruka? Suzuha relaxed her guard. Kagari had PTSD from her time as a war orphan, and she hadn't fully recovered yet. Mayuri had once told her that she got very frightened in dark and cramped places. It makes sense if waking up in the dark caused a panic attack. And the time machine could only function with Suzuha's biometric authorization. I like rice and ice. Rice and ice? That doesn't mean like... Now you've confused me, actually. Wait. That doesn't mean like you pour the rice on the ice or something. What does that mean? Wait a minute. I agree that rice is really goated. But what do you mean rice on ice? Rice and ice? Like together or separately? No, I like rice and ice. Separate. Oh, okay. I was about to say. Does somebody pour... That's funny. Somebody pouring ice and rice. Rice is really good, though. I can't eat, like, pure, like, just white rice, though. I always have to have something mixed in with it. I don't eat ice and rice like that. There was a time where I used to like ice, like just chew on ice cubes, but then, I don't know. It all of a sudden, it just got uncomfortable for my teeth. Someone of Kagari's size wouldn't be able to break the console either.
お前は時間移動のショックで気を失ってたんだよ。だから休ませておいたんだけど、悪かった。
I come bearing giraffe DNA. Bro's got a bottle of giraffe spit. Suzuha grabbed one of Kagari's tiny hands to help her up, and then led her outside the machine.
暑い。
かがり、約束するんだ。どんなことがあっても、操縦席のスイッチに触ったりするな。いいな。じゃあ、私は仕事にかかるから、お前はその辺で休んでるんだ。飲み物と食べ物は適当に食べていい。
I got the mane hair. Did you rip it off the giraffe? Did you grab the giraffe by the neck and rip the hair off? It's kind of brutal there, Golden. Jeez. I thought you liked animals. Suzuha handed Kagari the provisions she'd bought, then went inside and poked her head into the cargo space under the control console. It was already loose there. I know, I was messing with you. If you beat a giraffe if you could grab a giraffe by the neck too regularly, you must be a superhuman. True. Suzuha handed Kagari the provisions she'd bought, then went inside and poked her head into the cargo space under the control console. Don't they have those neck battles? Yep. When they fight for mating and stuff, they literally just slam each other's freaking necks. Just use them like whips. She connected the IBN 5100 she'd stored there to a portable terminal she'd bought from the future. I grabbed him by the neck and the chin regularly. Nah, Golden, you can't fool us. We know you got that Hulk strength. You grabbed him by the neck and dragged him to the ground. Like the Hulk. Can't fool us. By all appearances, it was an early 2000 cell phone, but inside it was a miniaturized quantum computer from the year 2036. Of course, future Daru had made it himself. When she booted up the IBM 5100, rows of numbers started to appear on the screen.
何をするの？
The giraffe has chosen war. He chose poorly. Kigari was looking in from outside the machine.
2000年問題は勉強したか？
施設の学校でちょっとだけ。結局何にも起こらなかったんでしょ？
表向きはね。公表されてないけど、実は当時あれのせいでいくつかの地域や国に深刻な問題が起きたんだ。
If I had that kind of strength, I'd lift Rotaro by the shirt, shake him, and put him in ice cream and tell him, next attempt will lead to Steins Gate, Baka. That's what he needs, honestly. Poor giraffe. They got their necks broken. Golden just regularly wrestles with giraffes. That's his hobby.
そうなの？
Fan art.
問題だったのはこの IBN5100 というコンピューターなんだよ。これには古いプログラム言語が搭載されてるんだけど、そのプログラムの問題点を技術者たちが修正できなかった。
Do you have a Discord? Oh wow, yeah, I just realized. I should probably... Yeah, there it is. I keep forgetting to, like, post my own Discord server sometimes. But yeah, we do have a Discord. Come and join us if you want to hang out with us after stream. Oh, thanks, Nightbutt. Well, it was Golden that summoned the Nightbutt, but yeah. I need to advertise my socials more often. I'm really bad about doing that. That's why I have Golden, though. My loyal soldier, Golden. We don't have an OnlyFans yet. One day. Not now, but one day.
というより、そんな言語で書かれた重大なプログラムが存在すること自体、全く知られてなかった。
On my OnlyFans, I'll post some risque pictures of my bear paws. You guys aren't ready for it. You guys are not ready.
第三次世界大戦
MySpace!
タイムマシンの開発競争が発端なんだけど。
MySpace is still functional, right? Like, you could still actually use it, right? Yeah, I need to make a MySpace. I'll be like the only online creator that would have a MySpace. Golden's resume hobbies: mods for an internet bear, fights giraffes for fun. For fun, in parentheses. Oh lord.
もしかすると2000年問題で発生したある事象とそれに付随する対立こそがもっと深い原因である可能性がある。
She didn't expect a 10-year-old like Kagari to understand this, but she didn't feel like taking the time to explain.
しかも西暦2000年というのは特殊な年でね、すべての世界線が一旦一つに収束してしまうらしいんだ。
That's the perfect way to reply to somebody who's just joined the Discord. Oh my god, Golden! Jesus Christ! Jesus.
それに関連してこの問題があらゆる世界線の因果に重大な影響を引き起こすかもしれない。
just genuine apology. Well, I'm sorry, God. I'm actually dead. I'm finished.
私たちが目指してる狭間の世界線、シュタインズゲートも例外じゃない。
Why are you just threatening Aruka, Golden? Are you okay? And yes, I am still paying attention to the novel, but I'm pretty sure we've seen this scene already. It ends with Kagare going, like, bat crap crazy. And, like, trying to basically kill Suzaha. She looked down at the terminal connected to the IBM 5100. Threatening? Is this not how you welcome people? Not in this world, Golden. Unfortunately, not in this world, Line.
だからこれは2000年問題を起こさないようにするための修正プログラムなんだよ。
Right now, the terminal was converting the patch into the language used by the IBM 5100. I really am very sorry. Oh, God. The next step was to spread this program all around the world in the form of a virus, and the year 2000's problems that this era's engineers missed would completely disappear. The word connect appeared on the terminal subscreen. This is great.
OK。つながった。
I am so proud of this community. She'd been told that in Japan in this era, ADSL was still in the test phase and the most normal users connected to the internet by low-speed dial-up using ISDN. What a warm welcome. 10,000 out of 10, or million, I don't know. Aruka. What about Aruka? What? Oh. That's 3 tips. Wait, was that a tip? She, her. Oh, is that your pronouns? Thank you for telling me if that's the case. And I like to make sure that I give people that basic respect. No problem. Oh. Integrated Services Digital Network. A completely digital network that used digital exchanges, relays, and subscriber lines. It was far faster than the analog lines that were originally used by dial-up internet services, but used massively decreased after the introduction of the faster ADSL. Oh, I'm just he, him. Just the basic male pronouns. Just he, him is fine with me. Thank you for asking, though. ADSL. Straight white cisgender. Hey, man. Also, that's not true. I'm bisexual. Mother effer assuming. You know what they say about assuming? It makes an ass out of you and me. Okay, thank you for telling me. No problem. I was referring to myself mostly. Yeah, sure. Now you're trying to cover up for yourself. You was just assuming about me, Golden. And I'm very hurt. I'm going to cry tonight. Asymmetric digital subscriber line. A type of internet connection. ADSL uses telephone lines for high-speed data transmission. In the early 2000s, these quickly replaced ISDN as the de facto method of connecting to the internet. But in the later part of the decade, FTTH services using fiber optics became more popular, and the number of ADSL users has declined ever since. Make sure you record it. People love VTuber tears. You know, it's sad that you're not wrong on that. Imakita Industries. Net slang gets used to mean I just joined this thread and I'm not sure what's going on. Can someone explain it to me in 3 lines or less? A play on the Japanese words Imakita Sangyo, which can mean either I just got here, give me 3 lines, or Imakita Industries. Those sell about as well as Gamer Girl bathwater. That is to say, far too well. You've got male VTuber tears and Gamer Girl bathwater. A cursed combination. If you combine them, you can rule the world. Either that or you could rule Twitch. But in major cities like Akihabara, universities, labs, and some big computer companies were starting to use fiber optic broadband. Some of them were even using wireless LANs. Suzuha cracked her way into one of those. Dad had laughed when he'd said that with the 2036 technology, cracking late 20th century network security was a joke. But he'd been right.
でも未来を変えちゃったらかがりたちがいた未来の世界も全然変わっちゃうんじゃないの?
Yeah, and here's where Kagari starts losing it. Surprisingly, Kagari had gotten the gist of what Suzuha had just told her.
そういうことだ。もうあの世界は存在させない。私たちはシュタインズゲートを目指すためにここへ来たんだから。
Suddenly, the uneasy look on Kagari's face vanished. It was as if her soul had left its body. Suddenly her face was expressionless, and her eyes were wide.
声
Uh-oh.
神様の声聞こえる。
かがり？
ダメだよ。よくないよ。ダメなんだよ、鈴葉お姉ちゃん。そんなことしちゃいけないんだ。
おい。
Kagari was acting strangely. Suspiciously, Suzuha reached her hand out towards her. But she slipped past Suzuha's hand, and quicker than any child should be able to move, she slammed her shoulder straight into Suzuha's body. Oof! Suzuha was caught completely off guard. That's how fast it was. Kagari's shoulder hit her in the solar plexus. She bent over and collapsed onto the seat. Kagari tore the terminal out of Suzuha's hands. The cables connecting it to the IBN 5100 were ripped out, and errors displayed on both screens.
お前、何を?
Kagari didn't answer the question. Instead, she grabbed the backpack that Suzuha had placed on the seat and spilled out its contents onto the floor. There were MREs, spare parts, clothes, and a semi-automatic pistol. Suzuha couldn't believe it. Kagari was gonna try and pick it up.
やめろ!
She forced herself to ignore the pain as she jumped on Kagari's body. But another unbelievably powerful body slam knocked her back. And there we go. Something cold was pushed right up against her brow.
動いちゃダメ。
Kagari's tiny hands weren't shaking at all as they clutched the semi-automatic pistol. In the space of an instant, the safety on the gun had been flipped off. That's when Suzuha realized that this wasn't just a temper tantrum. Suzuha was the one who'd taught her how to use a gun. That's why she knew that Kagari was perfectly calm.
正気か？今すぐ銃を下ろせ。こんな真似はやめろ。
やめるのはお姉ちゃんの方だよ。
何？
世界を変えちゃいけないんだ。お姉ちゃんはおかしいこと言ってる。
There was no hesitation in her eyes. Instead, Suzuha only saw resolve. The kid has a gun. Yeah. Kagari keeps that thing on her. She stays trapped. She stays trapped, brother.
じゃあこのまま戦争が起きてもいいっていうのか？
そんなのわかんないよ。かがりは元の世界に戻りたいだけだもん。
ならもう無理だ。私たちはタイムマシンですでに過去に干渉してる。世界線だってずれてしまってるはずだ。あそこに戻れる可能性は低く。
うるさいうるさいうるさい。かがりはママを絶対に助けるんだ。この世界を消すなんてダメだよ。絶対にやらせないから。
Kagari turned the gun towards the IBM 5100.
やめろ。
Before Suzuha could stop her, she yanked down on the trigger. Again and again.
やめてくれ、かがり。やめろ。
And then Kagari jumped out of the time machine. And Suzuha never saw her again.
Whoa, hey.
That redeem. On every night that passed, she remembered Kagari. Oh my god. Suzuha had spent some time looking for Kagari when she'd first come to this era. But in the end, she never found anything. But Kagari Shina, who was now 22 years old, was here in Akihabara. Suzuha was sure of it.
Oh, Mahotan! Osu!
Itaru was sitting at the computer next to Suzuha and talking into his monitor. The monitor was displaying a video chat screen. On the screen was a young girl dressed in slovenly fashion. And, no, a proper, fully grown lady. Bro, she looks absolutely dead inside. Oh my god. My spirit animal. Oh man. It was 8:30 p.m. at the Future Gadget Lab in Akihabara. Also Skype. Oh my god. Dude. Hey man, Skype was the original Discord. Skype was what they used, was what people used back in my day. Back in my day, people used Skype. It was the OG. Some people before they had coffee. Yep, I remember you. I used it for a while too. That and TeamSpeak. Yep.
ヒヤジョーさん、大丈夫？
Oh wait, did I read that? Meanwhile, Victor Krondria was an hour off from usual due to daylight savings time, and it was 7:30 a.m. Oh my god.
この時間だし寝起きっしょ。
Maho was a mess. Her hair was never combed right, but her eyes were bloodshot and her gaze was wandering. The spots under her eyes were too dark for the little bit of makeup she'd applied to cover them up. Bah! 7:30, weak. Try 4:30. Man, I think the thing to take away is maybe we should lower the time to wake up for everybody to 9. Not try 2 a.m. God. Isn't working wonderful? Aren't jobs just great? Her cheeks were sunken, which made her look even tinier than usual. On top of all that, her skin was terribly pale. She looked like something out of a zombie movie. I'm not even gonna reply to that. Daru, I'm not even gonna reply to that. Tiny Maho. Normally, she would have gotten upset at Itaru's joke. But either she'd gotten used to it, or simply given up, because she said nothing.
そっちの進展はどう？
なんとかオカリンが分解しちゃう前の状態に組み立て直したを。機能はほぼ再現できてると思われ。
Itaru glanced towards the development room, past the curtain in the back of the lab. Right now, he was working with Maho to recreate what Okabe had called the time leap machine. Oh.
うまくいかないの？
なんか安定しないっつうか、普通の電子レンジになっちゃうんだよね。
そう。
Weird question, but does anyone know how to make an axolotl look more like an axolotl? I can't say I can help you with that, man. Aruka. I can't say I can help you with that. Add stock meme background. Is it pink? is it pink? Impact font. Try maintaining its natural habitat. Yeah, there you go.
何がいけないのかしらね。
オカリンにそこんところの話を聞ければ違ってくるんだけどな。
無理だよ。私たちがこんなことしているって知っただけで怒鳴り込んでくるよ。おじさんは恐れているんだ。世界線の収束する力というものを。あの人を説得するのは容易じゃない。
Oh well, this axolotl is an extra brain cell for somebody. Do you actually have an axolotl, Aruka? That's actually kind of cool if you do. In fact, it had almost been a year since she'd first tried and failed. Oh, I see. If this axolotl is a physical representation of an extra brain cell for someone, then I suggest finding a mini axolotl figurine. Alright, now I'm just getting confused. In fact, it had almost been a year since she'd first tried and failed. No, it's a joke on Kobe's channel. It's their fourth brain cell. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I am just stupid then. Okay. Oh man, has Kobe streamed again? I haven't seen them streaming since the stream I rated on. Maybe I've just been missing it. I don't know. No, you're fine. You're fine, Aruka. I'm just dumb. There was a moment of silence.
って魔王たん、もしかして寝てんじゃね？
No. I cannot comprehend this. I only have 2 brain cells. Well, I mean, I've got 1 brain cell, and then chat is all sharing a brain cell. That's usually what I learn from most of Twitch, is that you got the brain cell of the streamer, and then chat kind of like shares a brain cell. 2 brain cells. Let's go. Chat GBT says, "Oh, I see. Take care of it with love and keep it safe. We are a hive mind." You guys are like Ermac from Mortal Kombat. We are many, you are but one. Oh, do you remember how I said people were gonna make 20-minute videos about the Just Dance 2024 and you said no way? I found a 13-minute threading through. Not 20 minutes, but it's close. It's close. They're over halfway to it. Do people really care that much about Just Dance? That is 13 more minutes than it deserves. Maho's whole body jerked and she almost fell out of her chair. Just Dance was my childhood, man. I mean, yeah, it was fun back then, but I didn't think there was like a whole like active community around it. I did play Just Dance a lot when I was a kid. I found a 10 seconds off. They're 10 seconds off. It's 19 minutes. Just about Just Dance. What are they even talking about? For 19 minutes. I wonder what songs they're gonna use.
危なかったわ。出勤前なのに二度寝してしまうところだった。
つうか、頑張りすぎだお。無理して体壊したら意味なくね？
このくらい平気よ。というか、これだけやってもまだ天才にはかなわないんだから。
Nice. Skipe is a thing. I'm not even gonna call it Skype. I'm just gonna call it this one Skipe.
そんなことないと思うけどな。僕はさ、魔王たんだって十分天才だと。
気休めなら不要よ。
Oof.
岡部さんの言っていたタイムリープ、こんなにヒントはあるのに、未だに解を見つけられないんだもの。記憶データなんて膨大なものをどうやって圧縮して過去へ送ることができたのか。クリスはそれをやってのけたっていうのに。
Help. Help. Maho seemed upset. It was obvious, even though through the monitor.
ああ、ごめんなさい。愚痴をこぼしている場合じゃなかったわね。今日の報告、他に何かあるかしら？なければそろそろ出勤しようと思うのだけれど。 もう一つある。
Suzuha looked at Itaru.
前から調べてほしいって頼まれてた件について。
何か分かったの？はっきりしたことはまだ。そう。
あちこちのネットワークに強引に侵入したりとかギリギリまではやってみたんだお。
別に責めたりしないわ。今分かっていることを教えてちょうだい。
いやむしろ激しく罵倒とかしてくれて OK なわけだが。
Just, God damn it, Daru. This is why I hate Daru.
父さん。早くして時間が来ちゃうから。
ほいほい。
Itaru opened a different window on the monitor. He displayed one of the text files in it. It was a record of the information Itaru and Suzuha had collected.
まず魔法団たちがホテルの地下駐車場で襲われた事件。警察の発表だと新興カルト教団の男が違法薬物を使った末にって話になってるけど、あれ間違いなく嘘だわ。
嘘？
犯人の身元は警察発表通り某大学の准教授。これはいいんだけどさ、そいつが宗教団体に所属してたっつう事実がこれっぽっちも出てこないんだよね。
23 minutes. 23 minutes and 54 seconds about just dance. How?
公安が隠し持ってる教団員のデータにもアクセス
It's probably lore. The Just Dance lore. Oh, God.
捏造ってことなのね。
アットチャンネルとか見てるとさ、信者っぽい人が時々書き子するんだよね。教団は無実だとか陰謀だとか。そうすると一瞬でものすごい数の教団アンチが湧いてきてフルボッコなわけ。
What the fuck? I told you people would do it. You didn't believe me. I just can't see why. A one-sided battle in which the target gets the daylights beaten out of them. Okay. Hater. People on the internet with a negative opinion about a certain person or thing. They'll go wherever fans of that person or thing gather and deliberately write things to provoke them. They often get into heated debates with fans.
しかもそのアンチども、もっともらしい偽の証拠とかガンガン出してくるんだよ。画像付きとかで。いくらなんでも、あれはちょっと異常。
そうなの？私、そのアットチャンネルというのをあまりよく知らないから。
アットちゃん含めてさ、大抵の大手サイトには工作員が張り付いてるもんなんだよ。しかもビジネスとしてバイト代もらってね。朝から晩まで24時間ぶっ通しで。
情報操作、プロパガンダだね。
Propaganda, an advertisement for a specific ideology. Primarily used for political and religious purposes, propaganda has been around since the time of the Roman Empire, beginning in the 20th century, particularly after the end of the Second World War. Its methods have become more insidious. One example of this new propaganda would be attempts to manipulate public opinion via mass media. Propaganda advertisements are not always true, and the most of them include lies or slander towards their targets if it's to their wielder's advantage.
政治家や官僚なんかもネット世論の誘導に利用してるし、それを専門にしてる会社もあるくらいだお。
なるほど。それならわかるわ。そのあたりはアメリカも日本も同じね。
Stonks. Yeah, that's propaganda in a nutshell. Just stonks.
でも工作員なんて僕からしたら IP 変えてもバレバレなんで。それでチェックしてみたら、あの事件、すごい人数の工作員が投入されてるっぽい。どこからそんなに金が出てるんだよってレベル。
そう。
父さんのバイト先が襲われた方の事件は？
そっちも同じ。
The police had called it a fight between foreign mafias, trying to expand their territory in Japan. The media never questioned the story at all, and even people on the boards of the famously skeptical channel believed everything they were told. Of course, there was no mention whatsoever of Russia or CERN.
でさ、試しに目撃者を装ってロシアの特殊部隊を見たってすれ立ててみたんだよね。そしたらまあすごいのなんの、炎上しすぎてびっくりしたお。あん時は思わず工作員の本名から会社名まで全部晒してやろうかと思ったっつうの。
Well, there's further evidence that Daru is an absolute loser. Listen, anyone that ever does doxing is genuinely a loser. Just keep that in mind, chat. Evidently, he'd been really irritated. It was rare for Itaru to get so angry. Or maybe it wasn't, she decided.
つまり、どこかから圧力がかかっていて、幕引きにされたってことね。さすがは、自由の国日本だけのことはあるわ。
So if he talks
アメリカも
myself.
似たようなもんじゃね。
Wait, what? What?
違いないわね。
The two of them smiled at the joke.
つうわけで、僕としてはお手上げ。
Snakes already did that.
そう。それで十分よ。調べてくれてありがとう。
ヒヤジョーさん、研究所から来日の許可は下りそうなの？
それが、レスキネン教授の助手として連れて行ってもらえるよう何回も申請しているのだけれど、却下の連続なのよ。
レスキネン教授は今こっちに来てるんだっけ？
ええ、新型脳炎の調査でね。
Since it had nothing to do with artificial intelligence, it seemed Maho wouldn't be allowed to go along.
いいわ。どうしてもダメと言うなら、こっちにも考えがあるもの。
どうする気？
Didn't you say you had to go to work, Maho, like 10 minutes ago?
まさか上官の命令無視してでも正義を貫くとか？そして悪に捕まってしまうんですね。わかります。
Uh-oh.
ねえねえマホタン、殺せって言ってみて。できればすごく悔しそうな顔で。
I just realized what Daru just said. I didn't even see that before. I kind of was like speed reading that sentence because it was by Daru and I don't like Daru. But then oh no. Oh man.
は？
父さん。
Suzuha's hand went for her back pocket.
させん。
Itaru's shoulders slumped as he apologized. Lately, she'd been able to put a stop to Itaru's terrible jokes just by doing that. She wasn't sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing that she knew exactly how to handle him.
ま、とにかく近々そっちへ行くわ。
わかった。日程が決まったら連絡を。それとヒヤジョーさん、出勤するならもう一度鏡を見てからにした方がいい。
Yes, Golden, what is it? Just before they ended the call, Suzuha decided to warn her. Maho stood up and walked towards the closet without turning off the camera. She vanished from view, but a moment later... She must have seen how terrible she looked, because she let out a very unfeminine scream. They relaxed for a moment after turning off the video chat. Suzuha thought back to the time before she'd become a time traveler. She did this every time she got off the video chat with Maho.
タイムマシン開発の協力者、ヒヤ城真帆か。
It was after Maho had gone back to America that she'd volunteered to help Suzuha and Itaru with the time machine. That meant that when Itaru Hashida completed the time machine 25 years from now, Maho Hyajo must have contributed in some way. But...
あんまり未来のことを言うのはまずいんだけど、父さんの仲間にそんな名前の人いなかったんだよね。
え、そうなん？
ということはさ、どこかのタイミングで開発メンバーから抜けるってことなんじゃないかな。自分の意思なのか、それ以外の外的要因なのかはわからないけど。少なくとも開発の主要メンバーじゃなかったと思う。
そうなのか。かなり頼もしい人だけどな。
こんなことを言いたくはないけど、どこかのスパイという可能性もある。
I don't know about that. That's a bit of a stretch.
いくらなんでも真帆たんに限ってそれはないよ。
Well, if she was brainwashed by Dr. Leskinen, then there might be a chance, but... I don't know if she was brainwashed by Dr. Leskinen in this timeline.
ごめん。でも、そういう可能性もあるっていうことだけは頭に入れておいて。言ったでしょ？第三次世界大戦前の情報戦はもう始まってるんだ。どっちにしろマシンの秘密が無駄に漏れるのは困るよ。それだけは徹底するようちゃんと注意しておいてよね。で、この先のタイムマシン開発はどう進めていくつもり？
やっぱオカリンの協力がないとな。
結局そこなんだよね。オカリンおじさん、やっぱり無理なのかな。こうなったら力ずくで。
Oh, wait a minute, Suzuha.
前にそれしようとして失敗したのはどこの誰だっけ？
Suzuha pursed her lips. Do eat, Suzuha. I finished and now he looks like a depressed business axolotl. Oh no. What a 9-to-5 does to a mother effer. Even with a gun in his face, Rentaro Okabe still wouldn't get in the time machine. To be honest, Suzuha was out of options. She stifled a sigh. It didn't do any good to let herself get down.
そういえば、母さんとはうまくやれてる？
な？
私、そっちの方も心配なんだ。大丈夫？私が生まれてこなくなるような事態にならないよね。
なんつうのタイムマシンよりもなんだい
Yes.
ちょっと
Suzaha stormed over to Ataru.
困るよ父さん。
うんパパ頑張るからね
It's so weird when you say it like that, Daru man.
いっつも口ばっかり。結局例の映画のチケットも無駄にしちゃっ
Oh, sorry.
たんでしょ。
She meant the pair of movie tickets that Mayuri and Ferris had given to them at the Christmas party.
あれはさオカリンと吹雪氏が倒れちゃったじゃんその後お見舞いとかでバタバタしてるうちに映画が終わっちゃってたわけでしょうがないっつうか
でもその後新しいチケットを用意しようとしたら断ったって聞いたけど。
誰に
まゆ姉さんとルミ姉さんに決まってるじゃないか。
そりゃあれだマユシとフェイリスターに頼りきりなんて男らしくないっしょキリ
で自分で何か行動に移したわけ？ダメだこれ。
Maybe this was a more important problem than the time machine. Suzaha brought her hands up to her head.
いい父さん。私いつまでもこうやってお説教できないんだからね。もうすぐ行っちゃうんだよ。
Suddenly, there was a sad look in Itaru's eyes.
そういう顔しない。約束したはずだよ。もう迷うのはやめにしようって。
For the past 6 months, Suzaha had been thinking about whether it was really right to erase this world. But in the end, it was none other than Itaru who had pushed her to go ahead.
ごめん
She couldn't bear to see her father so depressed, so she patted his broad back.
しょぼくれてないで母さんにメールして。予定の空いてる日がないか聞いて。で空いてたら映画に誘う。
いきなりハードル高すぎ
高すぎでも何でもいいから誘いなさい。いい？これは命令だからね。
命令って
返事は？
さあイエスさ
Satisfied, she headed off to take a shower.
でもその前にちょっとだけコンビニに行ってくる。
何しに？
I don't know why that's just ellipses.
いや実は夕食がまだっつうか今夜も徹夜になりそうだし遅くならないうちに買い出しようと。
Broken English. The English is always top tier. Incredibly. Still hunched over, he pointed towards the development room. He was pointing at the phone wave, named subject to change, Unit 02. That was put together, but still undergoing testing.
睨まないでなるべく太らないようなものを食べますんで何卒お許しを。
バニラ。
はい。
私シャワー出たらアイス食べたい。バニラ。
わかった。庶民がなかなか口にできない高級なやつをいっぱい買ってきてあげる。
Well, if this is similar to the other, if this is similar to Gehenna's stigma, then Kagari should be raiding sometime soon.
いっぱいはいらないよ。一つでいい。
そう、イエスそう。
That was enough to cheer Daru up. He took his wallet and ran out of the lab.
やれやれ。世話がかかるんだから。
She had just about taken off her jacket so she could take that shower. But... Oh. Itaru had come back in the lab.
どうかした？
階段のところにさ、こんなの落ちてたんだよね。
Oh. Itaru showed her a keychain he was holding. It was a round anime character whose color had faded to a smoky green. It was... an Upa.
誰のかわかる？
That's Kagari's.
まゆ姉さんじゃないの？
She leaned forward to take a closer look, and then felt like she was experiencing deja vu.
このウーパー、どこかで。
She'd seen it before? She couldn't really remember when. But her internal alarms were going off. The keychain was extremely important. Upas were common enough that you could find them anywhere. The plastic edges had worn down, the paint was faded and coming off in places. But there was no dust, and there was no stains. Instead, it shone brightly, as if the owner had put a lot of effort into taking good care of it. Oh, that's a very cute axolotl. I just saw that in the pictures channel. Oh, man. Greg is a very good name. The chain was so old that part of it had snapped off. That was probably how it got dropped.
どこだっただろう。どこかで見た。
まゆしに見せてもらったとか？
そうなのかな。
She stared at the green Upa in Itaru's hands. And then, in her mind, she heard a young girl scream. Yep.
ママがずっと大切にしてきたウーパのキーホルダーだよ。かがりちゃんにあげる。大事にしてね。
She gasped. A feeling of indescribable terror raced down her spine.
まさかこれかがりのか。
That was when she'd last seen it. August 13th, 2036. The day she'd gone into the time machine. That was when she'd seen this Upa. It was older and more worn now, but the more she remembered that day, the more certain she became. This was the Upa that Mayuri had given to Kagari. She'd seen Kagari holding it and crying to herself many times before.
かがりってもしかして未来のマユシの娘？
うん。
見つかったん？
いや、でも向こうはこっちを認識しているんだ。
つまりどういうことだってばよ。
あいつこのラボを監視してるんだよ。
Satisfied, she headed off to take a shower. Ever since then, her careful efforts to defend the time machine had paid off, and she hadn't seen any sign of Kagari, but she never thought she'd be watching the lab.
いや、ちょっと考えれば当たり前のことだったんだ。あいつは私たちがシュタインズゲートに到達するのを阻止しようとしてる。この世界をなかったことにしたくないと思ってる。ということは私だけじゃなく父さんもマークされてる。
え？僕？
まあ父さんの命に危険はないとは思うんだ。世界線の摂理を信じるなら父さんは少なくとも2036年までは生きるはずだし、ただシュタインズゲート到達を阻止するために父さんの研究の邪魔はしてくるかもしれない。
A lot of bad things have been happening around Suzuha, Itaru, and Orintaro Okabe. There was some possibility that the final target was Itaru.
これからは用心のために私がいない時には必ずドアに鍵をかけておいて。
わかったお。
オカリンおじさんや母さんやマユ姉さんたちが一緒にいても絶対に開けっぱなしはダメだよ。気休めかもしれないけどドアチェーンもかけた方がいい。
でもさ、オカリンやマユシならともかくアマネシと二人きりの時にそんなことしたらなんか別の意味で怪しくね？アマネシに変な誤解されないかな？
They speak Japanese, but we read it in English? Yeah, yeah. It's a good way to keep the feeling of the source material while still being able to understand what the F they're saying.
あ、それは確かに。
もしそれで嫌われでもしたら我が家のピンチだお。
Thank you, translators. Suzuha groaned softly, unsure of what to do.
父さんがもっと早く母さんと恋人になってれば何の問題もないのに。
で、結局そこへ話が戻るとか？
とにかく注意だけはしておいてよね。
No. Listen, I can't speak Japanese, though, Turnus. I cannot speak Japanese. behold my human translation. Wait, did I read that? Okay, yeah, I did. Suzuha decided to keep the green Upa keychain. She softly ran her fingertips over it as she stared at it.
なあ鈴葉、かがりたんって血はつながってないけど、マユシの娘なんだよね。
そうだよ。
あのマユシに育ててもらった子が人を襲うような恐ろしい人間になるのかな。なんか鈴葉の話とイメージが重ならないっつうか、もっと優しくてホワホワしてて可愛い女の子になってるんじゃないかなとか思ったり。
だとよかったんだけど。うん。私も前はそうなると信じてた。けど今のかがりは多分。
From what she'd seen at the radio building, she could tell Kagari had definitely received professional combat training. It wasn't just the simple self-defense techniques that she'd learned from Suzuha when she was a child. As she'd grown up, she'd been taught the cold techniques of a killer. There was no way to know where she'd been or what she'd been doing, ever since she'd gone missing in 1998. But there was no doubt in Suzuha's mind that she was trying to ruin her plans. Suzuha sighed as she took her shower. Since it was summer, she'd set the water temperature low. It was barely any hotter than tap water. As long as the water was pouring down on her, she could feel like all the bad memories were going to be washed away. She slapped her she slapped her cheeks with both hands and turned off the water. A small tile of the room suddenly became quiet. In the silence, she vigorously toweled off her hair. This building was never intended for anyone to live in. Not only was there very little room, there wasn't even a place to change. It was small and there were no windows, and the stream from the shower room built up, making it an unpleasant sauna in summer. Supposedly, Itaru and Okabe would sit naked next to the fans to get away from the heat and moisture. Of course, that was only when the girls, as well as Luka Urashibara, weren't around. But Suzuha couldn't do that. There were those huge scars on her chest. If she was careless and Yuki saw them, she'd have a big problem. So she always forced herself to change within this small space. The second she left the shower room, she realized something was wrong. The lights were off in the part behind the curtain where the lab room was. She was sure she had left all the lab lights on when she'd gone to take a shower. She didn't remember turning them off. Still completely naked, she flung open the curtain. She dropped to the floor, ready to move. She could tell by the light from the shower room that there was no one else there. She didn't hear any breathing, and she didn't feel any other presence.
父さんが一度戻ってきたのか。
And then, when he'd left, he'd turned off the lights? No, that couldn't be right. She looked around the room and saw that things had been moved in a way that an amateur wouldn't be able to notice. Itaro's computer desk, the sofa area, the bookshelves, even the mini kitchen, someone had gone through them all. Man, this is kind of annoying. Because it's like, we've already seen this with, like, minimal changes. I wish they didn't, like, just show the same scene, but with, like, maybe, like, one or two things changed. It's kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Because, like, we've already seen this. Like, Kagari comes and they have a little fight. And it's
What
just,
the dog doing?
it's, I wish they didn't just make them damn near the same thing. Yeah, but I technically haven't seen this before because it's technically like minor differences in dialogue. From the look of it, the same was probably true of the development room. Suzuha glanced over all the areas where she kept her guns. The closest was the sofa that she used as a bed. She'd wanted to have one easily available if she was attacked while she was slept. So she had cut out the back of one of the sofa cushions and hidden a suppressed semi-automatic pistol in it. It was just a .32 caliber for self-defense, so it wouldn't do much damage unless you had good aim, but it was small and relatively quiet, which made for the best choice for a place like this. Suzuha tensed all of her muscles, coiling like a spring, and slowly moved towards the sofa without making a sound. As she did, she tried to notice any changes in the surrounding area. There was a small sound in the development room. It was a tiny, tiny creaking of the floor, to which you'd usually pay no mind. So many sound alerts. Yes. But that was more than enough for Suzuha. In an instant, she moved from quiet to action. She cleared the distance to the sofa in a single moment, and quickly drew her gun. She held it ready and slipped into the shadow of the refrigerator. From this position, she could barely see into the development room. God damn, Kagari got that cake. The room became silent again. But this time, the intruder in the other room didn't try to hide their presence.
おかしな真似をしたら撃つ。手を頭の上に。そのままゆっくり出てこい。
Suzuha threatened the intruder in a low voice, but the intruder seemed completely unconcerned as they'd exposed themselves to Suzuha's gaze.
この暑いのによくそんな格好をしていられるな。ヘルメットだけでも取ったらどうだ？
The intruder was wearing a motorcycle suit just like before. Even the helmet was the same. The leather suit clung tight to their skin, revealing a voluptuous and perfectly proportioned body. It was clearly a woman. Hey, it's Helmet Girl, which could be like 3 different characters. In this case, it's Kagari.
あんたが探してるものだけどね。そこにはないよ。私の服のポケットだ。
Oh, it's not Moeka? No, it's not Moeka. Moeka was earlier. This is Kagari. Suzuha pointed toward the entrance to the shower room. The shirt she'd just taken off was lying there on the floor. The girl in the motorcycle suit turned her head, but because her face mask was down, Suzuha couldn't read her expression.
なあ、落としたらダメじゃないか。ママからもらった大切なものだろ。かがり。
The second she spoke, Kagari Shina was the first to move. She drew a deglossed military knife that she must have been hiding behind her back, and closed the gap between herself and Suzuha in an instant. Suzuha pointed the gun at her legs and pulled the trigger, carefully aiming away from her vitals. She heard the small pop of a suppressed .32 and saw Kagari lose her balance and fall. Or she thought she did, but it was a feint. She'd only pretended to lose her balance. In fact, she'd changed directions and was heading for the shower room. It seemed her first goal was to get what she'd come for.
これは。
After firing only one shot, Suzuha realized, even a .32 should have more recoil than this. She fired again, but Kagari didn't flinch even for a moment.
ブランクカートリッジどうして
At some point, all the bullets in Suzuha's gun had been swapped with blanks. The instant's panic was all it took. Kagari reached out for the shirt on the floor in front of the shower room.
この
Suzuha gave up on firing and flung the gun at Kagari. There was a dull thud as the hard barrel slammed her to her neck. Caught off balance, she staggered before she could grab the shirt. Just the fact that she just says F and just tosses the effing gun. It sends me. She could hear Kagari's voice for the first time from within the helmet. Suzuha jumped. She kicked the off-balance Kagari as hard as she could with her toned, muscled legs. This was no time to hold back. Uh-oh. Kagari went flying all the way to the edge of the room. That had to have broken a few ribs. Suzuha jumped toward her to continue her attack. But with terrifying speed, Kagari leapt off the ground and charged at Suzuha. I'm just considering finding out what they do at this point. There wasn't enough time to come to a full stop. A sharp blade swept by, mere centimeters from her exposed abdomen. If she'd pulled back even a few tenths of a second later, the knife would have fatally sliced open her gut.
Oh my!
You be! The blood rushed to Suzuha's head. Kagari was serious. She was planning to kill her. There was no hesitation in her movements. Suzuha leaped back and searched for something she could use as a weapon. But the other guns were probably no different. There was a good chance they'd all had their ammo swapped with blanks too. It was even possible that all her self-defense knives had been taken as well. Which left... There were several knives carefully stored in the kitchen. Yuki had brought them over to use and teaching the other girls how to cook. But Kagari had evidently noticed them as well, and she was moving to keep Suzuha from reaching them.
へえ、ずいぶん離れしてるじゃないか。とてもマシンの中でベソベソ泣いてた子供とは思えないな。
This is literally like just damn near the same fight scene. I Suzuha kept her distance from Kagari as she slowly moved along the wall. Her competitive drive burned even brighter as she tried to come up with a way to overcome her disadvantage.
ほら、カガリ、これだろ。
I know, Turnus, but it's like I feel like if I do that, I'm gonna end up missing something that like is actually new with my luck. She picked up her shirt from in front of the shower room and took the green keychain out of its pockets.
どうした？取りに来なよ。
Her fingers moved as if to crush it. She could see Kagari twitch. For the first time, she could detect a hint of emotion beyond the helmet. And in an instant, she threw it at Kagari's stomach. The keychain flew in a slow arc, like she was tossing it to a friend. If something they loved was thrown like that, even the fiercest warrior would instinctively reach out both hands to grab it. Kagari was no exception. She carefully held her mother's memento in both her empty left hand and the right hand that still clutched the knife. Using the slow arc of the keychain as camouflage, Suzuha ran at her in a straight line. Her right fist connected hard with Kagari's stomach. Then her left arm smashed Kagari's head to the side. Kagari's body fell to the ground, her right shoulder taking the brunt of the fall. Suzuha could hear the sound of her joint dislocating. The knife slipped from her grasp. I was ready! I was ready! I knew since this is the same one, I was ready! I knew since it was the same scene, I was ready! I keep that black screen on me, boys! Oh, man. Suzuha got behind her and mounted her, twisting her right arm mercilessly. At the same time, she slipped her own left arm around Kagari's neck and squeezed hard. If you guys are wondering why it's black screen, it's because one girl is basically naked on screen right now. That's why. Kagari's just doing grunts of pain. Prove it? I'm not going to do that. I'm not that stupid. She could hear something like a moan from Kagari's throat. Nice try, Turnus. Nice try. She could both hear and feel the bones in her arm and neck creaking. Suzuha says, "Stay put. I'm not gonna kill you." But Kagari picked up the knife on the floor with her left hand and once again tried to use it on Suzuha. Suzuha was forced to squeeze her arm and neck even harder. More grunts of pain. Suzuha says, "Stop it, Kagari!" I understand how you feel now, but it's wrong. It's wrong. But Kagari didn't stop. If anything, she tried even harder to pull Suzuha away. What kind of training did she get? Even in all the battles she'd been in, this much pressure on two different spots was enough to get even the toughest soldier to submit or fall unconscious. Terrified, Suzuha squeezed even harder. At this rate, she wouldn't simply knock her out. She really would kill Kagari. But if she stopped, Kagari would kill her. What should she do? And Kagari says, "Big sis Suzuha, it hurts, it hurts." And then she heard a sad, weak voice from inside the helmet. It startled her, and she relaxed both her arms. God dang it, Suzuha. But that was just what Kagari had hoped for. The knife came very close to cutting Suzuha's left arm. When she let go to dodge it, Kagari shook her off and kicked her at her hips with both legs. Alright. You all can have the screen back. Oh yeah, so before I got my official PNG model, this was what I used. This is what's called the OG mochi. I just like grabbed a picture of some stuffed bear from Google and used it. Suzuha was slammed back hard into the computer desk, and for a moment she couldn't breathe. She fell to the floor, and the printer and monitor crashed mercilessly onto her naked body. It's perfect. Thank you, thank you. She forced herself to stand up, gasping hard as she did so. Kagari's breathing was heavy too. Her right arm was pointed at an impossible direction and hanging limp. She wouldn't be able to use it for a while, probably. But her left arm was still holding the knife.
お前、随分と汚い真似まで覚えたんだな。
Suzuha glared at Kagari's face, not that she could see what it looked like behind that helmet. The two of them fell silent as they tried to catch their breath. The tension in the air was so thick that it was difficult to move a muscle. Sweat rolled down her forehead and into her eyes, but she still didn't blink as she waited for Kagari to make her next move. It was the sound of the front door opening that broke their stalemate.
おい、鈴葉、今すごい音しなかった？
Suzuha felt a chill run down her spine when she heard Itaru's voice.
あれ？なんで真っ暗なん？
ダメだ、父さん！来ちゃダメ！
She yelled at the exact same instant he turned on the lights. The sudden brightness was enough to make Suzuha flinch for an instant. Kagari was wearing a full face helmet, and that made all the difference. She leapt towards Itaru just a moment before Suzuha. Kagari's black knife went up to his throat. Kagari, just do us all the biggest favor and just kill Daru, please. just jam that knife right in his throat. It'd make us all happy. Kagari spun around behind him, using Itaru's huge body as a shield. Suzuha staggered toward him, gritting her teeth.
その手を離せ、かがり。父さんに傷一つでも負わせてみろ。たとえお前でも本当に殺す。
But Kagari remained silent as she headed outside the door with her hostage. And then in the next moment, she shoved him forward. Itaru lost his balance and fell towards Suzuha. Suzuha fell to the ground underneath his weight. Itaru just barely managed to support himself with his arms and legs to keep from crushing her. Suzuha tried to shove him off using a little more force than she may have intended. But Itaru was so huge it'd take him a moment to get up. She was getting away. She somehow managed to crawl out from under him and quickly tried to follow Kagari. Itaru was still lying on the ground as he tossed the naked Suzuha her shirt. She grabbed it and quickly put it on, then ran outside. But when she looked around the street, the girl in the motorcycle leathers wasn't there. There was no way to even know where she'd gone.
逃げられた。
It'd be dangerous to run around trying to find her now. There's a chance Itaru would be attacked while she wasn't at the lab.
今のってまさかかがりたん？
Itaru came outside as well.
多分間違いない。
そっか。
結局あの子とはこうなっちゃうんだな。
The bruises and wounds were bad enough, but the pain that ached in her heart was the worst of all.
私さ、あの子のこと本当に好きだったんだ。
うん。
小さくても勇敢で、マユ姉さんを守るために いつも頑張ってて。私もそんなあの子にいろいろなことを教えた。きっと妹みたいに思ってた。
うん。
けどあいつはもう完全に敵だ。
Itaru straightened up her shirt sleeves.
今の鈴葉、なんかエロゲーの地上キャラっぽい格好になってる。
That's his daughter, by the way. Like that, he's talking like that to his daughter, by the way. Just as a reminder for everyone.
え？お？
Suzuha was caught completely off guard. True, her t-shirt only came down to just below her hips, roughly the length of a miniskirt. Her breasts were almost completely bared. The shirt's hem was turned up, and she felt exposed.
まあ僕は地上物も結構いける口なんで、乱れた裸 T シャツというのもありといえばありですが、むふ。
またそうやってふざける。大怪我してたかもしれないのに。
He's being downright criminal is what he's being, Suzuha. But Itaru shook his head.
僕さっきはナイフ見て騒いじゃったけど、でも怖がる必要なかったんじゃないかなって。あれがもし僕の聞き間違いじゃなかったら。
Itaru rubbed the part of his neck where the knife blade was.
ナイフを突きつけられてた時、ほんの少しだけど聞こえたんだよ。
何が？
彼女、多分泣いてた。
え
Crying? Under that helmet? After that whole battle with Suzuha? While holding a knife to Itaru's neck? But why?
だからさ、決めつけるのはまだ早いんじゃね？
父さん。
の？
アイス買ってきてくれた？バニラ。
ああ、もちろん。
食べたいな。私ちょっと疲れちゃった。
And then she almost fell forward.
で、
Itaru managed to catch her before she hit the ground.
おい、鈴葉。
ごめん、平気。でも少しだけ休ませて。
That was all she had the energy to say. She closed her eyes in her dad's arm, and her consciousness melted away. Okay, that's it for today. It's been 3 hours. I'm going to bed. Oh yeah, there's a cute bear model. There you go. But yeah, I'm going to bed. I have been here for quite a while. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting kind of annoyed there because it's like I've already seen most of that stuff and I couldn't skip it. And if I tried to control skip it, I feel like I would have missed out on something important. Like, with my luck. That's kind of aggravating, man. Like, I don't know why they just repeat, like, that's 2 different routes. You can't just repeat, like, the same scenes with, like, minimal changes, man. It's not good. It's not a good thing. But anywho, yeah, I'm going to bed. Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and yeah. Bye-bye.